Welcome everyone to Signature Solutions Master Series Consulting with Confidence. My name's Donna Van Trier and I'm the Artistry National Trainer. Many of you have attending this webinar have purchased the Artistry Skin Analyzer and are successfully consulting. Now I've had a lot of common questions since the launch that I'd like to share with you, as these might be queries and questions or concerns that you have or currently are encountering. This session will take you through the consultation process, so please type your questions in the chat box provided, and I'm going to allow time at the end of the presentation to cover your questions. So this session is going to be recorded and placed on the Signature Solutions training site. So let's start right from the very beginning. Now you'll find on the Signature Solutions training site a script for you to introduce your customer to the Skin Transformation Program and the Artistry Skin Analyzer. So I'm just going to go through very quickly the script for you. So welcome to the world of artistry and congratulations on taking the first step to achieving a more radiant and healthier skin. Artistry invests millions of dollars in research and development of innovative products to meet the needs and diversity of women's and men's skin worldwide. As a result, Artistry is the world's #1 direct-selling premium beauty brand. Today I'm going to introduce you to the Artistry Skin Transformation Program, our holistic program to transform your skin. We tailor a program that's individual, based on your unique skin, your skin concerns and personal lifestyle. And then we'll recommend a solution that will improve the condition of your skin. So to determine the artistry products we customize to make your personalized skin transformational program, I first need to ask a few lifestyle questions and do a thorough analysis. But firstly, I need to set you up with your own customer record and go through some lifestyle questions. So now what we're going to do is we're going to start a customer record. So you'll notice that I'm using instructions from an iPad. The visuals will look a little bit different if you're using an iPhone or Android phone device. So first of all, you need to turn on your Artistry Skin Analyzer. Make sure that your Artistry Skin Analyzer is linked to your ASA number on your Wi-Fi and open the app icon on your desktop. Click on Customer. For a repeat customer, the Skin Analyzer app stores and saves the details of your customers. So if it's a repeat visit, all you need to do is click on their name. You can delete the customer at any time by ticking the box next to their name and click Delete. To set up a new group, you need to do it now before you actually do the customer record. So click on Edit Group, as you can see here in the red circle on the screen. After you click on Edit Group, click on New Group and type in the name of your new group and then press Done on the keyboard. Now when this disclaimer pops up, explain to your customer that this is necessary to receive their permission to collect and store information. So explain that this information is only used for the Artistry Skin Analysis and not for telemarketing purposes. Now they also have the option of deleting their results after the consultation, and you can do that in front of them. But keep in mind that you won't be able to keep their records if they delete it. So answer yes to the disclaimer and press OK. Now fill out the customer registration and make sure that you put in accurate information such as the age range, gender and skin type. Now the skin type has now changed to light to medium and medium to dark, which is Mediterranean to darker shades. You can also measure the skin type by the level of tanning. So light to medium, they burn quite easily or they just lightly tan. And medium to dark is minimal burning with a deep tan. So rather than choose European or Asian ethnicity, you now are able to choose between light to medium and medium to dark skin tones. Now, if you want to assign this customer to a group, choose the group pre-set up. And the group needs to be, as I said, set up before starting the customer registration. Press the tick. Find the customer name on the list and click on the name to open. Now press Start Analysis. You can see all the details here on the left-hand side. Now, there's also been a change to the questionnaire. The answers now have never, rarely, mostly, and always. I think it's a lot more relevant now. Now, keep in mind that the questions don't impact the results. Normally, you go through each question, and these questions are for conversation only. Now, it's going to give you an introduction to her skincare routine and lifestyle. Now, this questionnaire will not be saved, so you can download the questionnaire from the Signature Solutions site and have a copy manually. It's always great to have a copy. At the end of the questionnaire, confirm again with your customer your main skin concern is. Okay, so that we know at the end we can go back to, remember Mary or Jane, you said that your skin concern was. Is this still a concern for you? Okay. Now, with the questionnaire, you can just do the first 3 questions, or you can go through each of the 17 questions. So now you've done that, you're going to introduce her to the Artistry Skin Analyzer. You might like to use, I've asked you to have a cleansed skin for this consultation because I'm going to do a thorough skin analysis using the unique skin analyzer. The Artistry Skin Analyzer is a professional, portable skin diagnostic device, and it provides solutions for skin problems from 8 types of skin tests to customize a personalized skin analysis for your skin. The specialized technology of the Skin Analyzer accurately analyzes 8 different skin conditions, which I'm going to take you through today. The analysis is measured against a database of 30,000, segmented by age, sex, and skin tone, so the comparisons are much more relevant. For example, if you're in your 50s, you're female, and have a light to medium skin tone, your results are going to be measured against a database of the same. But before we get started, I'd like to play you a very short video to explain the technology behind this amazing skin diagnostic tool. And then you're going to play the video. After the ooh and the ah, you can now go to the hydration step. So what I'd say now is, are you ready to get started? Let's start with hydration. Now, just to set up, you can navigate your device from your iPad or your iPhone or your Artistry Skin Analyzer. I actually like to use the remote on the analyzer. I just find it easier for me. But if you want to use the touch pad on your iPad, please do that as well. Now, you'll see on each of the images, there's a red dot. Okay, and this is where you place the skin analyzer against the skin. We always test on the right side of the face for all 8 skin tests. This is the best side to actually test, as well as, it keeps it uniform as well. So let's go through the instructions for hydration. Point the analyzer to the screen and press the capture button. You're going to hear a beep beep sound. As soon as you hear this beep beep sound, put the sensor, the skin analyzer, onto the skin on the right-hand side of the face where that red dot is. And wait until you hear that beep beep sound again. Once you've heard that beep beep sound, it will then do the analyzing. Now there's two tests that request you to press the capture button. Wait for the beep sound and then place on the skin. Now you don't need to do anything else but hold the sensor to the skin. The results will then show. Now the two tests that work this way are hydration and elasticity. You can see when the skin analyzer is actually working. You've got those screen there on top of the screen, so it's activating, and then it will show the result. So the white line represents the average value by age, and the gold dot is where the customer sits compared to that database. You'll also see a grey bar graph which shows the average, and the gold bar represents the customer. So immediately the customer can see how their skin compares in hydration for their age group, their skin tone, and their gender. You can also see that this customer's skin average result is average. It's right on that database. Now the final result will show on the pentagon when you press Show All Results. If you have a optimum moisture, the result will show as good in the white area of the pentagon. So let's now go to sebum. Sebum tests the oil in the skin. Now you need to use the sebum papers that are supplied. You can't use the sebutapes, they just don't work. You need 2 sebum papers for each analysis. Now you can't use one paper for both sebum tests. Put the first sebum paper onto the skin, onto the U-zone, on the cheek, as displayed here. And then put the sebum paper up and hold for about 2 to 3 seconds on the skin. Put the sebum paper up to the camera probe, the pink side facing the camera because the pink dot always goes against the skin. Hold in place and capture a picture using the top capture button. Make sure that you hold the paper close to the probe so that the entire paper is seen on the screen. Then you're going to do the T-zone. Put the second sebum paper on the forehead and press for 2 to 3 seconds. And once again, put the sebum paper to the camera on the analyzer and capture a picture. Now make sure that the whole paper is seen on the screen before taking the image. This actually takes a little bit of practice, but it's quite easy once you get into the hang of it. So oil is going to show up as red blotches or patches on the screen. So as you can see, the U-zone on the left-hand side of the screen here, there's little evidence of oil. And as you can see on the right side of the T-zone, there's more oil present. So you'll see the results that these appear on the screen in the bar graph. Yep. But if you want to know what skin type your customer is, just click on Show All Results, as you can see on the bottom there, and then that will come up to the summary. And on the summary, look under sebum, and you'll see it says Skin Type Combination. Now please discard the papers because they can't be used again. I always get in the habit of folding them in half so that I know they've been used after each test. The next test we're going to do is pore. Press the camera button to activate the camera mode. And you're going to apply the a sensor onto the right-hand side of the face where that red dot is, closer to the nose, because that's where the pores always show up. Put the camera sensor on that right-hand side and capture the image. You'll see that the skin shows up times 30, so it's magnified by times 30. The pore result is going to appear, and these red dots represent the largest pores on that area of the skin. You can see here that the average database is 45, that grey bar, so that's the database, and this customer's average is 9, so it's a lot lower. In this reading, you want a low reading because you don't want a high pore count on the skin. Now you can compare images as well. So you can compare your skin, your customer's skin, which is on the left-hand side here, with other images, which is a good image, precaution needed, and care needed, so that it will show your customer the different types of skin. Now let's go to pigmentation. This is the melanin in the skin. This is the pigment. Press the camera button to activate the camera. And you can do this by the handheld analyzer or using the remote on the screen. Put the analyzer against the skin on the cheekbone area, on the right-hand side of the face as shown on the screen. Touch the camera button to capture the image. Click on Analysis if the results don't automatically show. And you can see the screen, the melanin, it comes up there on the screen. And then the results. So the dark bar area shows the average result for your age, gender, and a skin tone. And the gold bar is the customer's result. As you can see here, it's less than the average, which is a good reading. Yep. Even though there might have been some pigmentation present there, it's less than the database. Yep. So you can also compare against other readings, good precaution and care needed. Elasticity. Elasticity measures the firmness in your skin. So once again, point the analyzer to the screen and press the capture button. Now you're going to hear a beep beep sound, and you can see on the right hand side the analyzer working. As soon as you hear the beep beep sound, place the analyzer straight to the skin in the area where indicated with the red dot. That's normally below the cheekbone, just on that fleshy cheek area. Wait. All you need to do now, don't press any more buttons. You just need to wait till you hear the beep beep sound again. As soon as you hear that beep beep sound, the screen will come up with the database line. Now there's 2 tests that actually do that beep beep, and that's hydration and elasticity. So you can see here that the database line is white, and the database also is the grey bar, and the customer's reading is that gold dot and the gold bar, and she's sitting right smack back on the database, so she is has an average reading. But saying that, it might come up as a care needed when we get to the pentagon, so that will be her final result. Let's have a look at wrinkle. The wrinkle reading is done on the right-hand side of the eye area. Touch the camera button to activate the camera and press the sensor firmly on the skin, the right side of the face, not too hard. You don't want to create a wrinkle. And it should be placed on the outer corner of the eye where the image is. Now sometimes you might see some black pigment like dots showing up on the skin, and this is not pigmentation. They are ridges in the skin, even though the skin might appear smooth and wrinkle-free. as you get more proficient in doing the skin analyzing, you'll come up with and you'll get to recognize different things. Also, another reading might be fine hair. If someone's got very fine hair around the eye area, on the cheek area, sometimes it comes up as a false reading because of the hair. So just keep an eye on, the actual skin and what's happening around that skin as well. So we've done the capture, so now the wrinkle result is going to appear. In this particular result here, it's shown up a wrinkle on the skin because the database, which is that grey bar, is low and the wrinkle reading is quite high. You can then compare that reading against other databases as well. The next test we're going to do is congestion, and we've changed the wording from acne to congestion. And this is taking into consideration results from all different age groups. So if you've got a customer with more of a mature skin, she won't want to have it referred to as acne. And there's different types of congestion within the skin as well. So this slide's going to show up inflammation, any bacteria, and congestion within the skin. So press the camera button to activate the camera. And put the camera sensor to the skin on the right-hand side of the face in the area displayed on the screen and press the camera button to capture the image. I always like to put the camera sensor closer to the nose as possible, okay? And that avoids picking up any fine hair on the face. Fine hair can sometimes be shown up as congestion, so closer to the nose is better. So a low reading is good. You can see on the screen there's some yellow streaks. Yep. Now this could represent fine hair on the face, oil on the surface of the skin, or any debris on the surface of the skin. That's why it's really important that we have the skin properly cleansed beforehand. Now you might have a customer who has apparent breakouts on her face. She gets a reading that shows low congestion and queries that she should get, why would she get this result when her skin's breaking out? Well, there's different reasons why the skin might break out, and they're not all acne or bacteria related. Breakouts can be hormonal and it can even be product related. So not removing foundation properly or too rich on the skin can sometimes give a particular reading or on the skin as well. So if you've got a customer with more mature skin with no apparent congestion and it shows up a high congestion, there can be other factors that cause this reading. Could be dead skin cell build-up, and the oil beneath the skin is sort of, it's caused a bit of a congestion that you can't see on the surface. It's maybe not properly cleansed prior to the analysis, or maybe they've used an oil or cream cleanser prior to the analysis. They might just need to have a deep cleansing treatment. And, you can't go wrong with a really good renewing peel treatment as well. So you can press the compare button to compare your customer's skin against good precaution and care needed by scrolling across the results. Here is a copy of a result here that shows a high reading. And sometimes you might even get some red pigment present as well. Okay, the last one here is sensitivity. And sensitivity is also done on the cheekbone area where that red dot is on the right-hand side of the face. So press the camera button to activate the camera mode. And put the camera sensor to the skin on the right-hand side of the face displayed on the screen here and press the camera button to capture the image. Now, here's a little tip. If you're testing at different times of the day, always ask what activities they've been doing, or have they been just out in the sun, in the wind? Have they been for a 30-minute brisk walk in full sunlight, or the weather might be, quite brisk and cool. So it does have a relevance to how the skin acts, especially if the skin is a little bit sensitive. So of course a low reading is good. And you can see on the screen here that the database is lower than the customer's reading. So the customer does have sensitivity. You can also compare your results once again against good precaution care needed samples. So when you've completed all of sensitivity and all of the different readings, you can now press Show All Results. And you'll get a summary of your customer's results. This is where we're really going to determine the customer's skin and what she's going to be needing and her concerns as well. So let's go through each of those results. You can see on here that there's two areas highlighted in that dark grey area: elasticity and hydration. But I'm going to start off with congestion. Now this is going to show if there's any underlying bacteria build-up in the skin. If the reading's good and there are breakouts present, have a conversation about general health, hormones. Does she break out at certain times of the month? Is she removing her foundation properly? If she's using an oil-based cleanser, is she double cleansing with a foam cleanser to remove any further residue? Does she use a toner? If you put the cursor over the acne circle and click, you'll get the products recommended for an acne-prone skin. Now you can see in this reading here it says precaution. You know, it's not a high reading, but it is showing that if she doesn't look after her skin or she changes, you might need some changes to a skincare routine to actually bring this congestion reading down to a good reading. Okay, now let's have a look at sebum. Sebum's going to tell you what skin type she is. There's no good or bad result with the sebum result. The result is just telling us what skin type your customer is in order to actually recommend the right skincare to suit her skin. You know, the right cleansing system, daily skincare, and also optional products. Now, if you put the sensor over the sebum circle, you'll get the product recommendations for an oily skin. Now let's have a look at sensitivity. This will start a conversation about sensitivity within their skin. How do they treat their skin? Do they have harsh exfoliants? If they're using exfoliants, do they rub too hard? Do they spend a lot of time out in the environment? You know, the wind, the sun, the extreme cold conditions affect the sensitivity. Is sensitivity hereditary? Is their skin also dehydrated? Because hydration is vital for capillary health. What do they use to protect their skin? Do they have any skin conditions such as rosacea? So this is a great conversation, especially for this customer because it shows up care is needed. So her skin is sensitive. If you put the cursor over sensitivity, then it'll come up with some recommendations to treat sensitive skin. So now let's have a look at the pentagon. That's that spider web looking diagram. And you'll find that areas that are in the dark areas that display a high care reading, there's often a red exclamation mark displayed, such as what you see on the screen here. So you'll see elasticity and hydration is highlighted. But I'm going to start in the middle. And the middle is the white area, and that's the area that shows a good final reading result. You'll see in this case the customer had a good reading, you know, no apparent concerns with pores. And she's sort of borderline as well with her wrinkle reading. Is this on there? No, her wrinkle reading is good, sorry, and her pore reading is borderline. So the light grey area shows that the final reading for the skin shows no problems presently, but that they should really maintain good skin health to prevent deterioration. And for this customer, her reading in this area is pigmentation, and borderline pores. Yeah. So with pigmentation, it'd be a good conversation to say, you know what, it's a really good idea to make sure that you have your sun block, you wear a makeup on your skin to help prevent your skin from the outside environment. So remember that with the precaution reading, taking precautions to help prevent the premature signs of aging is an insurance policy for younger looking skin longer. So the dark areas are the areas of concern, and these are the areas that we're going to be recommending product. They're the final reading that shows where immediate attention to those areas are specific. In this reading, you're going to see that the client has two readings in the dark area. One is elasticity and the other one is hydration. So this is also a good conversation to talk about how to keep the hydration levels in the skin. Dehydrated skin can lead to wrinkles. How old is this customer? Is this a concern for her? So, if you put the cursor over the word elasticity and click, you'll get the product recommendations for an elasticity skin concern. Now, because Jane is in her 50s, I would be recommending that she looks and addresses elasticity as her main skin concern. And Mary might have actually said, I am concerned about elasticity on my skin, which she did when you did the questionnaire. So in some cases, you might have 3 areas that are highlighted. So what area do you focus on? Well, always go back to the customer's skin concern listed on the lifestyle questionnaire. For example, Jane, there are 3 areas of concern: elasticity, pigmentation, and hydration, just for example. I would recommend that you start with one area of concern, and then we can introduce other products to your skin transformation program to target each of those skin concerns. Jane, you stated that on your lifestyle questionnaire that you were concerned with aging skin and firmness. The products that I'm going to recommend for you are for the elasticity, also target hydration. So how about we focus on this area today? Now, Supremalex, if you're going to recommend Supremalex, it targets, hydration, elasticity, and pigmentation. So they're her 3 areas of concern. So you might like to recommend Supremalex. Now, with each of the follow-up appointments, you can also recommend optional products, such as the Ideal Radiance serums. But always go back to the customer's skin concern. So now we're going to, highlight the elasticity, and then we can show product recommended, and we're going to get the lifting and firming. So what you're going to do now is you're going to say, these are the products that I'm going to recommend for you, Jane. And what I'd like to do is I'd like to trial these products on your skin. So you're going to do a little mini facial. Okay, so use the products that you're going to use. Remember that you put the renewing peel on the back of the hand first. You use your cleanser, your softening lotion, your serum, your eye serum, of course, and then the recommended moisturizer that you're going to recommend for Jane. Yep. After you've gone through those products and she can feel what they're like on her skin, you might like to talk to her about skin health, some lifestyle tips as well if you haven't addressed that beforehand. You can then go back to taking off the renewal peel, putting on a little bit of serum, and maybe one of their moisturizers that you haven't put on the face. Yep. So after you've trialed those products on her face, you can then go back to what products do you feel are best to start your skin transformation journey with today. Yep. And that's when you have a conversation, and it's left to Jane to let you know what's missing in her skincare routine or where she wants to go. She might actually ask you for your advice, and you can advise her on what products you think that she should start with. So now you're going to email her the results as well. But in the meantime, you might want to, and I'm just going to go through if you want to resend or retrieve information for your customer. So what you'll need to do is you'll need to click on customer, click on your customer's name, and then click on the analysis date. If you click on the analysis date, it will come up with her analysis that you did for her previously. Yep. So you might want to, it might be a follow-up appointment that you want to go through those results with her and then talk to her about how she's getting on with her skin. Or it might be that you just want to talk about one particular area, hydration. Or it might be that you want to just resend her the results because she's lost them. Okay? So if you're just looking at maybe a different area or hydration, you can click on the area, show the products, and then there's their recommended products. Or it might be to send an email. So you're going to do this after your skin consultation, or if your customer wants you to send a copy of it, click on Send Email. And you'll see here that I'm using an iPad, so it's a little bit different if you're using your laptop. Yep. So with an iPad, it automatically attaches your results. You just put in her name, the subject, of course, and your message. And then I always put in my address on the BCC area so that I can keep a record of all of my emails that I send out. And you can see there, I've put in here, so it's a blind copy. She's got her copy there, and you're going to put a nice little message in there. And then hit, the send. And that's it. That's as easy as it gets doing the artistry skin analyzing. So please don't hesitate to contact me on my email service, ostbeautyadvisory@amway.com. Go to the Artistry Solutions webpage on the training site and get all those scripts to help you with your consultations. It gives you also, it goes through the consultation. I'm actually changing some of the consultations to read the new changes to the app. So if you haven't updated your app, please do so. It should automatically update in your app store. So when you actually open up your analyzer, especially if you've got an iPad or an iPhone, it should automatically update. But you will need to update to read the new changes, especially going from skin ethnicity to light to medium and medium to dark skin tones. So it makes it a lot easier for you. So thanks so much for your time today. And we've had, this is the second recording I've done, so we've had some question time. So I'm going to stop the recording now, and we were going to finish off, and I look forward to seeing you at the next webinar. So let me just go to the top. Esther's actually asked me what's the red spot shown in the sensitivity analysis. Well, the red spot is where you actually put the skin analyzer. So whenever I've gone through those slides, and when you actually see the face on the screen when you do your analyzing, you'll see a red spot, and that's the best spot to place the analyzer to get the most accurate results. Now, Marlene, the pentagon, let me just go through the pentagon again. Now, the pentagon is the area that is going to show up your results of your skin concerns. So let's have a quick look at, where are we here? I'm just going to go through. this pentagon here. Might just going to go to some of the slides here so I can go on the pentagon and show you. For example, that one there. So on the pentagon, the white area will show up areas that are there's no concern at all. Okay, so it's a good result. So if you've had a really good result, say for pores, or you've had a really good result for, you know, the pigmentation or wrinkles, it will show up in that white area. Now, if your results are a good result, but it's come up as, you know, maybe borderline, it will be in this area of the light grey area. And the light grey area is showing areas of maybe concern, no huge problem, but if it's not addressed, then it could become a problem. So it might show up, say, wrinkles or pigmentation is in that area of that light grey area. So it's a conversation to have. You know what, Mary, your result has come up in that light grey area. Not a huge concern at the moment, but if it's not addressed, then it could become a concern. Now, the areas of concern are in the dark grey area. And the dark grey area is that outside area of the pentagon. And this is what shows up as an area of concern. And these are areas often that are the customer's concerns as well. It could be elasticity, it could be hydration, it might be pigmentation, could be wrinkles. So these are areas of concern. And these are areas that you need to address and maybe base your a skin transformation program on. So recommended products. So I hope that makes sense, Marlene. Now, another question we asked was, do we do another analysis after we finish applying the creams? No, you don't. Once you've applied the creams, then you're recommending the product. And also, I wouldn't recommend a follow-on appointment or another appointment too soon after the analysis. Remember that everyone's skin is different and everyone's skin reacts so differently to products and how they absorb the skin. Someone who maybe hasn't been using any products on their skin at all is going to show a result very quickly. Someone who's used to using lots of different products on their skin might not show up a result as quick as they would expect. So remember that all our testing's done over a 12-week period. So the results that we do in the laboratory are never final until after that 12 weeks. So I'd be very reluctant to suggest another skin analysis too soon. In fact, I'd keep servicing your customer, go through, the skincare systems, and maybe, if they're wanting another skin analysis, no sooner than, I don't know, maybe at least 3 to 4 months, okay, because then that will give their skin time to actually work with the artistry products to get a result. So if there's any real lengthy questions that you'd like to ask, please feel free to put your hand up and maybe we can have a conversation. Now, another question here is to show how active products are and how they worked, or just with single use. No. How long before the skin has to be washed? Yes. So when you're doing the skin analysis, in a perfect world, it'll be a good idea to do it 30 minutes beforehand. So if you're making an appointment with your customer to go to your customer's home to do it, for example, give us some instructions. Say, Mary, I'm going to be at your house at 10 o'clock. no, if at least 30 minutes beforehand, so around 9:30 or when you get up in the morning, please wash your face just with a cleanser. Make sure that it's a wash-off cleanser, not a cream cleanser or an oil cleanser, a wash-off cleanser. Don't put any toner on, don't put any moisturizer on, and then we'll get a true result. So Marlene's saying, so the area of concern is the gold overlay. I'm not 100% sure what you mean by the gold overlay, Marlene. We might have to have a conversation about this. You suggest a clean skin. How does this mean using a cleanser, not a softener? So the softening lotion, so the toner, so just cleanse your skin, Sharon, and not a toner. But if you're using a cleanser, make sure that you're using a foamy type cleanser, not a cleanser that is a cream cleanser or an oil cleanser, because it will leave a film on the surface of the skin. Don't use a toner because that will affect the hydration of the skin, and what we want to do is test the hydration. I'm not 100% sure what you're meaning by the gold colored overlay on the pentagon. So if someone could actually explain what you mean by the gold overlay. How can we read results from the analysis list? The results are always on the summary. So after you do the skin analysis, you go to the summary, and that's where you get the results. Okay, so as you get more confident, you'll get to read the bars. Remember that the white bar is on the screen is always the database. So if we're going back to, one of the skin analysis, you'll see that when we do the skin analysis, that there's two bars. The gold bar is the customer, and the grey bar is the database. So you get to know how to read them. But if you're not 100% sure, always go to show all results and go to the summary and read the summary at the end. And that's how you get the final results. So I hope I've explained the shading on the pentagon. So the white area is no area of concern. The light grey area is areas that have a little concern, or they're actually starting to show a concern, so keep an eye on it. And the dark area are areas of concern. Debbie is saying here, if the pentagon results show two areas in the dark area, example, elasticity or pigmentation, if you work on elasticity first, how long do you work in that area before you help them with the pigmentation? Also, do you swap over to the daily skincare regime for pigmentation? First of all, Debbie, what I'd do is I'd work out what is her primary skin concern. Because if her skin concern is elasticity, then I would work and stay on that elasticity. Now, after she's used the products for about 3 months, I would then, on another consultation, I would then address, how are you feeling about the pigmentation? Would you like to address the pigmentation by incorporating one of these serums into your skincare routine? You could do it that way. Okay, so it might be that she's very concerned about the pigmentation. She's also concerned about elasticity as well. So you might like to discuss with her both of the systems, the Youth Extend as well as the Ideal Radiance. She might decide, you know what, I'd like to have the Ideal Radiance range, but I want to actually use the Youth Extend Ultra Serum just to help to address the elasticity as well. So it's really a conversation that you're going to have with your customer to tailorize what's best for her and what she feels is the best for her. If it's hydration and elasticity, of course, both of them work in the sync. If she's a more mature skin, I would focus on elasticity. If she's a younger skin, I would focus on hydration. Okay, so I'm going to unmute Deb Hitchens in Perth. So Deb, how are you going over there?
Oh, hi Donna. Yes, we're good here in Perth.
Excellent.
I've got a question relating to the fine hairs, and I know you did mention the fine hairs in relation to testing for congestion, but I've had a couple of clients. One was a very young lady who had some very fine white hairs when I tested in the wrinkle area, and although I couldn't see any visible wrinkles, the reading went off the charts. And the other one was a lady who had very fine dark hair, and even though I couldn't see any pigmentation issues for her, that reading also went off the charts, and I wondered whether the hairs were also influencing those readings.
You know what, Deb? I'm sure they were, and that is one of the challenges that the only challenge really I've found with the Artistry Skin Analyzer. And as you get more confident, as you are, with the skin analyzing, then you'll be able to address this, especially when you're actually physically seeing, and because you actually understand the skin a lot, and I know that you do because you've been working with skincare for a long time, you can actually look at the area and go, you know what, there really isn't a huge problem that I see there with wrinkles. What it is picking up that fine hair. So I'm sure it is the fine hair that's picking it up, and with pigmentation as well. I'm sure that it is the fine hair if there was a lot sitting in that particular area. You can actually move the skin analyzer around to maybe an area that is less in fine hair and do the reading there. So especially with pigmentation, not so much with wrinkle.
Great, that's good. Thank you, John.
Yeah, you're very welcome. Okay, so who else have I got here that we can have a conversation? What about Emily? Emily Morton, I'm going to unmute you, Emily. Are you with us, Emily?
Yes, I am, Donna.
Hey, okay. You had a question for me?
Yes. It was just a question with you know, when you have the comparable images, when you do that analysis.
Yes.
And you say you've got a customer that has darker skin, like a darker skin tone. Will we have like images for that particular skin tone?
No, we won't. No, it's just a generic. Yes, it's just a generic like skin type for a particular, you know, reading. So unfortunately, no. It will be just a generic skin reading. But good question there, Emily.
Yep.
Yeah, that's just the comparisons though.
Yep.
Yeah,
okay.
But they will be able to see, say for example, if it's wrinkle, if they've got, you know, quite a dark a complexion, and there is a wrinkle present or showing no wrinkle present, as you show the comparison slides, it will show a slide with a deep wrinkle or no wrinkle. So they'll be able to get a good idea of what a good reading and a concern reading is. Does that make sense?
Yes. Yep.
Yeah.
Yes, it does. Thank you.
Thanks. How are you going with the analyzer?
Pretty good. Yes, I've done that on a couple of customers, and I have to practice a little bit more, I feel.
Oh, look, practice, practice. That's all it is. And the more you practice and the more you do, the more confident you're going to get. You know, we all started off knowing nothing about the skin analyzer, you know, so I had to start from the very beginning as well. So, you know, the more you do, the more confident you get. And, you know, the more challenges you get too with questions like what Deb Hitchens was saying, you know, with the fine hair, until you actually come up with different challenges, then and you know that you can always contact me. Yep. So if you get a tricky one, you know, send me through an email. And, you know, I try and keep on top of my emails pretty, you know, regularly. So I'll be able to send you back some answers. So we'll try and also have more, you know, send me your ideas, especially with this particular analyzer. I'm quite happy to set up a monthly chat. You know, rather than a webinar, we can sort of have a chat club or something like that. So if this is something that everyone's wanting, I'm really happy to do that. So we can come up with different concerns as well. But yeah, keep plugging away. And any of you on the line that, you know, have just started, the more you do, the more confident you're going to get. And don't forget that there's always help somewhere at the other end of the line that we can answer your questions. Okay? All right, so thanks a lot. So anyone else here before we end up? Lalitha, I'm just going to take you off. I think I've answered your questions. How are you going, Lalitha? Nope, she's not there. Okay, and I'm just going to go down the end here, make sure I haven't missed anyone. Okay, just address the last few. So Marlene, thanks Marlene. I'll address that for you. So Debbie actually has done a skin analyzer on a lady 70 plus, and she used the 60 plus age group. Will the analyzer go past the ages of 70 and 80? No, it won't. We've already addressed that and they said no. So do 60 plus. Okay. And you're very welcome, Katrina. And I think that's it. If you've got any other questions, please do not hesitate to contact me. As I said, the email address, if you want to write this down, I'll give you a couple of minutes to grab a pen. It's AUST, A-U-S-T, Beauty Advisory, all one word, AUST Beauty Advisory at Amway.com, and you can actually send that email through. Otherwise, you can just send it through to me, which is donna.van.trier@Amway.com, and I'll get back to you. Okay, so we haven't got a lot of attendees, so you could be my special group, and I don't give my email out to everyone. Okay, so there you go, and thanks so much everyone for taking the time on a Saturday morning. Please, if you wouldn't mind emailing me to say that this time was convenient for you, or you'd like to make a different time, you know, another evening, or you know, whatever. The more feedback I get from you, the best I can help service. Okay, so have a great weekend, everyone. I'm off now to do some house cleaning. Oh joy. Okay, hope you have a better one. Okay, thanks, everyone. Bye.